Volodymyr Zelenskyy is pleading for more help from Israel, comparing the war in his country to the Holocaust. Allison Harris has more on this particular part of the story. Some people very upset by that comparison, Allison.
Yes, Zelenskyy continues to be incredibly passionate, even speaking to all these different countries and their parliaments, as you saw him speaking to Israeli lawmakers over the weekend. And overnight, the White House announcing more information about the president's trip to Europe, saying that he will travel to Poland while on this trip later this week, meeting with Poland's president on Saturday, addressing in Poland this growing humanitarian crisis that you've been talking about. Millions of Ukrainians fleeing the country, as the Ukrainian president Zelenskyy is warning that without successful peace talks with Russia, he believes a third world war could break out.
World War III hinges on whether negotiations fail between Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainian President Zelenskyy said Sunday.
I'm ready for negotiations with him. I think that without negotiations, we cannot end this war.
Ready to negotiate with Russia, as Zelenskyy says Russian forces have invaded to exterminate Ukrainians. Just last week, Zelenskyy said the peace talks were starting to sound more realistic, while his aide tweeted that there were fundamental contradictions remaining. The Russian foreign minister suggesting there's hope for the negotiations, but it's unclear what role President Putin is playing in the talks.
If there is just 1% chance for us to stop this war, I think that we need to take this chance. We need to do that.
Zelenskyy saying that if Ukraine were a NATO member, the war wouldn't have started, as President Biden prepares to travel to Belgium to attend an emergency summit at NATO Thursday. Republican Senator John Barrasso calling on Biden to tell European allies at that meeting that the U.S. will up its natural gas exports so Europe doesn't have to rely so heavily on Russia for natural gas, further isolating the Kremlin.
The president needs to lead by saying we're going to increase production of oil and natural gas in the United States. We're going to send it to you. And that's what leadership is all about.
Meanwhile, Zelenskyy is still addressing lawmakers in countries around the world, imploring Israeli lawmakers Sunday to impose severe sanctions on Russia, like the U.S., U.K. and EU have done.
Why has Israel refrained from sanctions on Russia? Israel needs to give answers to these questions, and after that, live with them.
The White House says President Biden will not be crossing the border, traveling into Ukraine during this trip to Europe. And later this morning, scheduled to start in about 2 hours now, the president's going to be on a call with the leaders of France, Germany, Great Britain and Italy, together again discussing how to hold Russia accountable for these ongoing attacks. Adrian.
All right. Thank you so much, Allison. More news out of Washington, D.C., including a historic hearing on Capitol Hill. President Biden's Supreme Court pick. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.